Hi, and welcome to Rise, Heal, and Grow. I'm Leah M. Hill. This show is a podcast production of Apollo Sunrise Center, which is a health, wellness, and spiritual retreat center in Merrimack, Massachusetts. On this show, we shine the light on those who nurture wellness and inspire positive change. And my guest today definitely nurtures wellness. That, in fact, is her entire life, is nurturing wellness. My guest today is Lolli Leeson of Leeson Life. She is a culinary expert and a family health advocate. Welcome, Lolli.
Thank you. Pleased to be here.
Thank you for being here today. I know we have lots to learn about family health and healthy eating and all of that you're going to take us through. But I just want to start at the beginning first, like what sparked your passion for this healthy lifestyle and wellness living?
Well, I had gone to culinary school after college and got a professional chef's degree. And, I learned a lot about food from a taste and presentation point of view, but I never learned about nutrition in culinary school, much like
Really?
Medical students don't learn about nutrition in medical school.
So you learned how to cook and you learned how to prep food.
I absolutely did, yes.
But you didn't learn anything about nutrition?
No.
That's amazing.
Isn't that? I know.
I would not have thought of that.
Well, it was true.
Wow.
And then later on, when I had a couple of little kids, there was one of the 5 dirty power plants in our town in Salem, Mass, that was grandfathered in. And there was a watchdog group, local watchdog group in our town that was trying to get the power plant to bring it up to modern air standards. And that is really when health and wellness really took off for me, because it was a huge aha that I had never understood, that the soil and our air and our water were getting compromised.
Wow.
Because of what was coming out of the power plant. And,
that's scary.
The SOx and the NOx and the beryllium and the arsenic and all of these. Yeah, it was an awakening for me that, wow, I really got to pay attention to this stuff. So that was really the start of my awakening around nutrition.
And do you think it even affected, from whatever time you were living there, like your own family, your kids?
I remember standing in my kitchen one day when I started to learn about nutrition, and we'll get into that, is I remember clearly thinking, what is going to protect me from this power plant? What can I do? What can I take that is going to, give me that shield that is going to protect me from these toxins coming out of the power plant?
Oh my gosh, that is scary. And so you got involved in the advocacy for it.
Yes.
And then, but you also you talked about your son also having learning issues and learning delays.
He did, yes. And that is really where I think truly my education, my sort of formal education, started with nutrition.
Right. That makes sense. As a mom.
As a mom. I mean, we're
you
mama
got to figure
bears,
this out, right? Yes.
And we will do more for our kids than we will do for ourselves.
Yeah,
and
that is true.
He was my firstborn, and he had learning challenges. He had dyslexia and executive functioning, and he had just trouble reading and writing and learning in school. And he didn't want to eat breakfast in the morning, and all I could get into him was, a waffle with sticky syrup or some, gross cereal that the milk turned pink.
Yes, I remember that.
And I was tearing my hair out,
that, yes.
Trying to get him, to eat a good, healthy breakfast, and it just wasn't working. So I was looking for solutions, at the time for him.
So you were looking for solutions, not only just to get him to eat breakfast, but to eat well throughout the day.
Exactly.
And you call it eating the rainbow. I love that.
I do. And I would put the rainbow in front of my kids every day,
You did?
And they weren't eating it. And so I was really frustrated. I was thinking, all right, well, I actually like to be in the kitchen, and I have a culinary degree, and I'm putting this rainbow diet in front of my kids, and they're not eating it. What's up with this?
Right. And that's an interesting perspective too as a parent, because I think a lot of parents feel judged, by social media, by comparing themselves to other parents or other kids, and like that's a pretty big deal for a parent to go through that. Not only looking out, like you said, for your child's health and well-being and healthy eating, but then thinking about the impact that it has on you.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And I think parents today, like they did back when I was raising my kids, we do have a blind spot. And that's where I try to help parents armor up a little bit around that blind spot. Dr. Bill Sears, who's a very, very famous, well-known pediatrician, he's written 40 books on parenting and childcare, and he says, I love his quote, because he said, we try to do the best for our kids. We try to get them into the best schools and the best teachers, and we go to all the piano recitals.
Sure.
We never miss a game. But he said, truly, what is the most important thing in the long-term overview of the outcome of your children, intellectually, emotionally, socially, hinges on good nutrition.
Wow, that's powerful.
And we give in, it's really hard, because kids today run the show. They're little marketing experts too.
Right.
And they see what's on the TV, and that's what they want. And food companies is a billion dollar business, and they're very smart at hijacking our taste buds.
Yeah, definitely. And I can think too of parents and the struggle it must be when, let's say you have kids that are, maybe they're doing okay in school, they're doing average, or they're getting by, but they're not fulfilled, living like a fulfilled life.
Yeah.
And they don't seem to have the desire to, right?
Yeah.
But where what you're saying is if the internal, the optimum level of health is going on inside, then maybe their behaviors change, they're more motivated.
All of the above.
All of that. Okay.
Yeah, all of the above. I mean, it really starts with what I call, armoring up.
Yeah, what is that?
And around the family dinner table. I think it's, there's so much coming at parents today. Parenting is a huge struggle today.
Yeah.
And we need all the tools and help and support we can get. And, if you can armor up around the family dinner table and realize that, what everybody else is doing out in the world doesn't matter as much as what you are doing with your own family, making your, owning what you want, your principles, your values for your family, because everybody out there will try to usurp it.
Yeah.
And so taking back your power as a parent and taking a stand for what's really important in your life and how you want your kids to turn out.
Wow.
Because if you don't take a stand for how you want your kids to turn out and how you want your family life to be, somebody else will decide it for you.
Oh my gosh, that's huge.
Yeah,
it's huge.
Really important. We are at a precipice right now. We really need to pick ourselves up by the bootstraps and decide, and vote with your wallet as to how you want to have your kids turn out, because it really is up to us, being your own health advocate. I say, as Dr. Sears says, make health your hobby.
Yeah.
Our health should be our hobby.
Right,
really
which is something
one.
that a hobby is something you enjoy doing. It's fun, it's interesting, it keeps you, active and thinking about things differently, and accountable too. Yeah, definitely. But that is huge, of parents armoring up, because I think we all talk about how, the kids these days are just not like we grew up with, that they don't seem to have the discipline, or in some cases to be able to make decisions for themselves, the right decisions, because they are being so impacted, like you said, by whatever the social media and what's going on with friends and school. It's really, really hard.
Yeah, and it's one reason why I think family dinner is so important, more important than it ever was. I mean, there are some really incredible statistics from the Washington Post and I'm just going to read some of these statistics, because family dinner, if you can get your kids, to have cook together.
Okay.
There's-
So this is not takeout, right? You're not
No.
talking takeout. You're talking
Cooking
together at home.
Cooking at home. I mean, yes,
Right.
sometimes takeout has to happen.
Right.
But cooking meals at home are way healthier than doing takeout.
Absolutely,
Because you know what's
yeah.
in the food. You've prepared it.
Right.
And there's less eating disorders, less obesity, less high-risk behaviors, drinking, smoking, drugs, less cyberbullying, less abuse of prescription drugs.
Wow.
You get to talk more with your kids. You learn about what's going on
Yeah,
in
you
your
have that
kids'
connection,
lives. You'll
right.
pick up, on underlying issues. There's less stress, less tension at home.
Yeah.
Kids have better vocabulary, higher test scores, lower anxiety, and they eat more fruits and vegetables.
Amazing. My gosh. I mean, you can't argue with that. That's amazing.
Yeah, and
That's incredible.
we've gotten away from it because
Yeah.
there's always something else. It's
Faster,
hard. You've got
easier,
I had
yeah.
3 kids. There's a lot of activities
Yeah, sure.
going on, and so if it's not dinner, try to make other times. Whether it's breakfast or
Right.
other moments to try to capture to bring your family together around a shared meal.
Yeah, that is so important. And that was some of the best memories I have from when I was growing up. The family dinner, the every Friday night or the every Sunday for years that I got to hear, even though I was a kid, I got to hear adult conversation. I got to hear what was going on. I felt like I was part of the family.
Yeah.
And without that, I don't know. I can't imagine growing up without that.
Yeah.
But I guess a
Well,
lot of people do.
it's very grounding.
Yeah.
For children, and they know that home is, if you're creating that safe space for them,
Yeah.
they can really go out and they can handle a lot
Right.
if they know that they have that, that safe
Right.
safe place.
So I love that for parents to armor up. Armor up. That's so important because like we were talking about, you get so much judgment, I'm sure, as a parent about how you're raising your kid and what you're feeding them and how much time they're spending online and all of that stuff. But you're saying, like, put all that aside and focus on what's the most important. And those statistics right there are the
Yep.
reason.
Yep.
That's
And you
it.
can't, you can't focus on
You can't argue with
it
that.
all, right? You
Right.
can't,
No.
you feel parents are pulled in a lot of different directions, but if you can just, hone in on one
Yeah.
thing and do it. I remember I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm in the kitchen, from 5 to 8 every night.
Yeah.
But when I look back over those years that I committed to that,
Mm-hmm.
our kids, they eat together, they cook together,
Oh.
they all have a sense of nutrition and family, and
Right.
they're doing it with their own families
Right.
now.
Oh,
so
that's
I see the
amazing.
work that I put in.
Yeah.
It's like you get out of your kids what you put into it.
Right. That's where the science is right there, the statistics that you gave, definitely. And you also recommended that people should vote with their wallet. And you have some examples of things that people might be buying
Absolutely
today.
do.
Or,
And, I
tell
remember
us what
this
they are.
with how I had to armor up myself. I mean, I'm not one of these people that's like holier than thou. I have learned
Yeah.
these lessons, the hard way. And I'm just trying to help parents,
Okay.
learn some of these lessons and make it a little bit easier for them.
Yeah, what have you
But,
got to share with us?
Yeah, so this is my Happy Meal. And I love to take this into the schools. I teach nutrition in the schools over the years. And I bought this Happy Meal 17 years ago.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And it sits on my shelf.
17 years.
17 years
17 years. This
and you
is a
can
Happy
see
Meal.
that the bag that the Happy
Yeah.
Meal came in is disintegrating more than the Happy Meal is. So this is the hamburger. Okay.
Oh my God, the
So-
hamburger's still in there.
Yeah, the
Oh my
hamburger
God.
is still there.
Oh my God.
Right? It's, and
You're
the
freaking me
cheese,
out, Lolli.
the cheese has no microbes on it because it's there. It doesn't rot.
Yeah,
So-
it does not rot. 17
Yeah.
years.
So my rule of thumb is it doesn't sprout, throw it out.
If it does, oh, I like that. If it doesn't sprout, throw it out.
Yeah.
That is scary.
And
Oh my
these are
God. Now what have you got?
The chicken nuggets.
The chicken nuggets are 17 years old.
Yep. And
my God.
I always used to joke that under the seat in the minivan, in every
Yes.
parent's minivan are the French fries. right, that have been
No.
in there for
Those,
a few years.
seriously, those are
Yeah.
17-year-old French fries.
Yep.
They have not deteriorated. They have not rotted.
And speaking
God,
of
what
marketing to kids, you
Yes.
know, it's a billion dollar
Oh, sure.
business marketing to kids. This little stencil was the toy in 1978
Oh my God.
in a McDonald's Happy Meal.
And he's a
So-
hamburger dressed as
Yeah,
a.
he's the McBurglar, and so
he's
it's a
the
little
Mc-
stencil.
Oh my gosh.
So you can see over the years,
Yes.
you know, how they've marketed, you know, toys and things to kids
and
to
how
get
much
them,
has changed.
get them to.
So this is
buy these
absolutely
things.
amazing. I mean, yeah, like you say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. I mean, the box itself here is falling apart and deteriorating.
Yep.
Yet
I had to keep buying the burger because the bag fell apart.
You
so
had
I had
to
to go buy another one.
my gosh. And yet
Yeah.
the quote unquote food in it, or that's included in it, is still there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that, you know, you bring that into a school, these kids see that.
Yep.
That's going to impact them.
Yep. It is,
think
and
they will
what's
remember it.
happened since over those 20 years is the packaged food and the processed food has gotten worse. You know, it's gotten more and more. In fact, now 60%, 60 to 70% of what Americans eat today in their diet is processed food. It's
60 to 70%.
So it's not. I'm not talking
Wow.
just about McDonald's. I don't want to throw
Right, right.
just McDonald's under the bus.
Right, but
Because
it could be.
my point in showing this is that ultra-processed food is just this. It's a food-like substance. So if you can try to, you know, learn to just read labels, you know, just a few ingredients on the labels, and slowly wean out packaged canned foods in your pantry
Yeah.
and replace them with more whole foods, you know, things that sprout.
Things that sprout, yeah. Yeah.
Your kids will be, you know, be a lot healthier because the truth is that disease starts in childhood, but it manifests itself in adulthood.
Oh.
So, you know, we think that kids get away with you know, eating a lot of fat, salt, and sugar.
Yeah, that they're
because
resilient or
right,
something,
because they're
yeah.
skinny, they're not fat. You know,
Right.
I call it skinny fat. You know, it doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean that they're healthy, that these diseases are starting at younger and younger ages, these diseases of inflammation.
Oh my gosh.
And autoimmune conditions and gut health issues, you know, they start earlier and earlier now because of our food.
Yeah, and I think so much of it too, you know, I know for myself is the cravings that we have that are from our body wanting these nutrients that we're not getting anymore.
That's right.
You know, so I have these, you know, these cravings for the carbs, for the potato chips and the bread and all of that. Is there something we can do if we have these cravings? Can we
Yeah.
change that?
Yeah, I mean, I think understanding, you know, how your body actually absorbs nutrients, you know, there's something called metabolic programming
Yep.
or cellular memory.
Okay.
And what that means is your cells have a memory and they remember what you feed them. So, you know, when you eat food, it becomes part of you. So, you know, food either builds you up or tears you down. And so when you're eating you know, these packaged foods that I'm, you know, talking about, 60% of what we eat are packaged and boxed foods. Because they're full of preservatives and fat, salt, and sugar, that is what your cells actually are accepting. But your cells are never satisfied. They're never satisfied, so they keep eating
craving
it.
more.
They keep eating it,
Okay.
you know, to try to satisfy, but it never happens.
Okay.
Because you're not getting the raw materials
The real.
that your body actually needs to repair the cell and to function.
Right.
So when you start to change those foods to eating more whole foods, you know, whole grains, then your cells respond and they change, and they can change very quickly.
So the cravings can go away pretty quickly.
Yes, and you
Okay.
start actually craving more fruits and vegetables and legumes and whole grains once your body gets, because it's saying, oh, yum, I want that.
Right.
You know, my cell's responding to that.
And your body starts getting used to that instead of the
Exactly.
the
and
other.
then your health starts to change.
Yeah, and I like that because we're also, we're in a society where we want the instant gratification. We want the pill that's going to make us feel better instantly or look better or whatever, lose the weight fast or quickly. But you're saying this can be very quickly, like you can have a turnaround pretty quickly on the cravings at least, which will lead to all the other benefits.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Yeah.
And what's a cool thing is that our cells turn over every 4 months. Every
4 months.
120 days,
Okay.
our cells are turning over. So as you're starting to eat healthier foods, as your cells are responding,
Yeah.
when those new cells come online, they are healthier than
Oh,
the
they're-
cells that you've left behind.
Yeah, they're getting
So
used to the new
It's
way.
a continuum.
Yeah, that makes sense too. That's helpful because I also like that what you teach is not to tell everyone to like give up everything and start. I mean, you could do that, I guess, if people are comfortable with that. But I know for me personally, it doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Well, it's not
because
sustainable.
It's not sustainable, right? For me to say I'm never going to eat another cookie, in my life is not sustainable to me.
Right.
But what you do talk about is adding these other whole foods in, and that's like something. Yeah, I could do
Yeah,
that.
well, that
totally.
starts to change your cravings because really blood sugar, cravings are only a fraction of your blood sugar. So
That's
if
it.
you can keep your blood sugar even, right, which
Right.
is eating a lot of these whole foods, right, whole
Right.
grains, things with fiber in them, then your body will respond and those cravings
And get
will-
used to that
will change.
instead.
Yep.
Wow,
Yep.
that's
and
fascinating.
so there's you don't have to diet and
Yep.
don't eat this, don't eat that. If you just start putting these healthier foods in,
Right.
by the faction, naturally these foods have more fiber in them, keeps your blood sugar even, which will
Right.
satisfy your cells.
Right, and thereby keeping you healthy, keeping you off some
Right.
of the
Well,
meds.
you just don't want
maybe.
them as much. It's not like you don't
Yeah.
like a cookie. I mean, I love a cookie,
Yeah.
but I don't have to have 3 cookies.
Right.
You know?
Right, that's the difference.
Right? Because my cell is satisfied. One cookie is great.
Yeah, and then it really is the treat that it's meant to be.
Exactly.
And not the trying to satisfy something. But because I'm thinking for people out there that maybe want to lose weight or get off some medications or something that are health related and they just don't know where to start, this is a really good way to start.
It is.
Because they don't want to go to the pill that might have a million other side effects or things like that we're just still learning about. We don't even know what some of these side effects are going to be with some of the medications that are coming on the market.
Yep.
But this is proven.
Yep. Well,
This works.
the best thing with, if you're taking, one of those medications is to really work with a nutritionist.
Yeah.
So that when hopefully you're going to get off of those things. And then while you're doing that, you're learning how to
Yeah.
eat and you're getting those skills, not pills.
Right. Skills, not pills. I like that. Yeah. So you're getting the education that you need to make these decisions.
Correct.
To make these better decisions. So did you bring another sample for us too that you wanted to show us?
Oh, yeah, well, this is sugar. I just want to talk about sugar.
Yeah, let's talk about
for a
sugar.
minute, because one of the things, kids love, right, are these, soda and all kinds of, drinks. And I want to tell people how to figure out how much sugar is in something, because when you buy a soda, it's always in grams. And
Right.
people don't think about, well, how much sugar is in the
Right.
soda. They know there's sugar in it, but they don't know how much.
Right. I would have no idea if you
So-
told me how many grams.
So if you
was
look
in
on
there.
the back
Yeah.
of a label on a soda or a food,
Okay.
and you see 4 grams
4 grams.
of sugar.
Okay.
Okay, that means that is converted into 1 teaspoon of sugar. So
Of what our regular table sugar.
exactly,
Yeah.
like
okay.
a teaspoon of sugar.
Okay.
For instance, so this Mountain Dew, right, and kids love, these things, or a Coke or whatever. This has 19 teaspoons of sugar.
19 teaspoons.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
in
So those
just
are
this
19 sugar packets
Yeah,
right there.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yep. So that's how you figure out how much sugar is in something. Just divide it.
Yep.
Divide the grams by 4.
And that gives you an idea of how much you're loading into. And then you look up
Yes.
how much you're supposed to have in a day, and that might be 3 days worth. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
It's like right there.
what people don't realize is a soda and a candy bar will suppress a child's immune system for up to 6 hours.
Oh my goodness.
So
Wow.
that's,
No, I didn't know that either.
yeah, so, immune sugar has a lot to do with your immune function.
Okay.
And the diet sodas are no better because they have been absolutely proven to make you want to eat more sugar.
Oh, really? Oh, this doesn't help. Okay.
I haven't seen any, I don't know about you, but I haven't seen anybody lose weight drinking Diet Cokes.
Yeah. I don't think I have. No. No. Wow. So let's talk about Leeson Life. This is your business.
This is my business, and I just, there's, on my website, there's great information on
Okay.
it. And I have a tool that I use. There's a lot of information about the Juice Plus product on my website because I really have found it is the best tool to help get people to snowball their health in the right direction, because people need help. I mean, you hear out there, it's not just eat 5 fruits and vegetables every day. It's now 9 to 13.
9 to 13. Okay. And you brought some samples of
fresh
Juice
raw.
Plus too?
Yep, I did.
Yep.
And these, so this is actually powdered produce, if you can believe it. And it
Powdered
is
produce.
Powdered produce. It comes in fruits, vegetables, and berries. And we also have them in chewable form for kids. And what I like about it is that it is food. It's not a vitamin or a supplement.
Okay.
And what research has shown that vitamins don't work. You really need to get your nutrition from food. As I said before, food becomes part of you.
Yeah.
And vitamins are fractionated and they're man-made. And so your body is stressing out, trying to pick it apart as to, okay, what am I going to absorb?
Right.
What is this? How am I going to, how is your body going to synthesize it?
And this
it can't.
doesn't have any of that. This just has the pure food, like in a powder form or
It's farms that we work with, exclusive farmers, and they grow the produce just for us. And then it's dehydrated and it's put into a powdered form and a chewable form.
So it's still easy, right?
Yep. And there's no safety cap on it. So you can't overdose on it.
It's just food. Right.
It's just food. And this is really what our body is missing, it's missing the rainbow. When I talk about the rainbow diet, because all the different colors of fruits and vegetables have different properties of these polyphenols in them, and that's what you really need to repair your mitochondria and your cell.
Right. So talk a little bit about how you help people work with people. You're also a coach, right? And you help people with like meal prep and...
Yep, I help people with meal prep, and if they want to try to get their pantries a little bit healthier, I'll talk to them about that, and I'll do little cooking classes and health hacks, and I meet people where they are, and just really I love getting this education, because I didn't know it. And I realized once I started learning about nutrition, I thought, oh my gosh, if I don't know this information, other parents don't know it either.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, no, I've learned a lot already just from having you here today, because I'm like, wow, no, I never knew this, I never knew that. But so people can work with you individually, but you also do presentations, and you mentioned schools.
Absolutely, yep. I do. I love going in and working with little kids, with because they are sponges.
Yeah.
Children are
and so important to connect with them.
And they,
soon.
Kids want to be healthy. They really do. There's a big interest now in kids of all ages wanting to be healthy, and just supporting them and getting them the right information.
Right.
And
I like that you keep this simple, because sometimes the simplest things make the biggest difference,
And just one simple change. Just start.
That's it.
And then you have success with that. And then
you feel better,
it's
and
like
you do better.
It's like a snowball.
Yeah, definitely. So, Juice Plus has been around for a long time. You've been representing them for...
It's been around for 32 years.
Okay, so that tells you something.
It came out in 1993.
Oh my gosh.
It's actually the most researched nutritional product on the market in the world.
Wow.
Yep,
The
they've
most
got
research,
the
because
most
they're doing their
researched.
own research as well as.
We've done research in university. It's not our research.
Okay.
It's research in university hospitals.
Oh, nice.
All over the world.
Oh, wow, wonderful.
On all kinds of aspects of physiological health.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. And so if someone wants to, let's say, work with you, learn from you, or have you come and talk at their group or their school, how do they reach out?
My phone number, my contact information is on my website, leesonlife.com.
leesonlife.com. And you're also on social media.
And I'm on social media, Instagram and Facebook, Leeson Life.
That's great. And if there's just like one thing that you want to leave everybody with today, one thought, idea, you have anything you want to share?
Your health truly is in your own hands.
Oh,
It really is.
That is
the
really
body
good.
is an incredible machine, and it is meant to heal itself, but you have to give it the right fuel
right.
and the right repair
Yeah.
to be able for it to do its job.
Right. And just learning about this, even from what we learned today on the show, it makes it so easy, like you said, and simple to make these little changes that can have a profound effect on your own health plus your family.
Yeah. And I will say for parents, parents have really good intuition.
Yeah.
Listen to your gut.
Yeah. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right.
That's right.
That's what I would say. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Lolli,
You're so
for being
welcome.
here on
That
the
was
show
fun.
today. This was great. I think we've all learned so much today, and I feel like having the visuals of those French fries is going to stay with us. I mean, once you see that, you cannot unsee it. That is like that. It is right there in your face. But thank you, all of you, for watching or listening here today on Rise, Heal, and Grow with Leah M. Hill. And please like, share, comment, and also subscribe to whatever channel or platform you're joining us on today. And come back again soon, because we have lots more episodes coming up.